Greetings Adventurers, I'm Lauren Gaming, and I'll be your guild advisor for this video. Today, I'll be going over the Shoreside Swimwear Strife Heroic Trial, and that was a lot of S's, nice alliteration. In this heroic trial, you'll be able to clear 3 quests of increasing difficulty in order to acquire Hero Fauna from the completion rewards, as well as obtain 1200 flowers needed to exchange for an assist Star Bond. Star Bonds can be used to limit break time-limited characters, such as the swimsuit characters and the Kino's Journey collab ones. And great news this time, the very hard quest gives us 3 Hero Fauna, rather than the pointless feat. Nice. Of course, this is a carryover from the heroic trial Japan had last year, so that's probably part of the reason we're not getting a feat this time. Anyway, as always, you'll need to use a challenge orb to unlock the quest for 1 hour. You're provided the free challenge orb to use every day. Let's go over the fight. You will be fighting against 4 characters, Swimsuit Tione, Tiona, Eyes, and Lily. They all have the same minus 70% magic resistance and are immune to all ailments. Due to their magic weakness, a magic team is preferable, but do note that they don't resist physical, so if your physical team is noticeably stronger, it may be better to just go that route, especially when it comes to a skill I'll mention later on. Rather than going over the individual moves of the characters one by one like in my previous heroic trial videos, I'll be going over the fight turn by turn since the fight involves 4 characters. Note that on turns I don't mention a character using a specific skill, they just use a normal attack. On turn 1, Tiona will use an AoE physical attack and Tione will use an AoE physical attack that has a chance to taunt. So, taunt resistance is recommended unless you only like targeting Tione. On turn 2, Eyes will use a single target wind magic attack, and Tiona and Tione will both use single target physical attacks. On turn 3, Tione will use a single target physical attack, and Lily will heal the party. On turn 4, Eyes will use her single target magic attack, and Tiona will use her single target physical attack. On turn 5, a lot of stuff starts happening. Tiona will use a strength buff, Tione will use her AoE physical attack that also taunts, and Lily will heal and also use Ether Assist, which increases the magic resistance of the party by 120% for 5 turns. If you don't have an assist that debuffs magic resistance, the characters will have a 50% resistance to magic on those turns. And suddenly having a physical team doesn't seem so bad. And on turn 6, you will take a lot of damage if you're not prepared. Eyes will use a special light magic attack called Luminous Lilrafaga that deals a ton of damage. Tiona will also use a physical single target attack 2 times, and Tione will use a single target attack as well. It is absolutely imperative that you have your defensive debuffs and buffs active for this turn and the next. On turn 7, Eyes will again use that very powerful AoE light magic attack, and Tiona will use a single target physical attack 2 times. Tiona loses her strength buff after this turn. On turn 8, Tiona will use a single target physical attack. And on turn 9, Eyes will use her single target attack and Tiona will use her single target attack. I'll stop going over the turns here since 9 turns is your limit for S clearing the quest. And we reviewed all the different attacks the girls can use. Watch out for that Eyes special. Overall, most of the damage you'll be taking during this battle is physical damage due to the Amazon twins, but do note that Eyes' special is very threatening due to a big burst of light magic damage. Your strategy for this fight will depend on your team and what you're struggling against. Using taunt resist should remove Tione out of the equation, so your main worries will be between Eyes, Tiona, and Lily. Now Lily isn't a damage threat, so you may find killing Tiona before she can get her strength buff off of high importance. If you're aiming for S clear, which requires you to clear the quest in 9 turns, and are using a magic team, you may want to focus Lily first since she'll cast a magic resistance buff on turn 5, as well as heal on turns 3 and 5. Conversely, if you're struggling to stay alive during Eyes' specials on turns 6 and 7, you may want to single target her first and kill her off before she decimates your team. Of course, if your team is full of high limit breaks like mine, you don't really need a strategy and can just kill everyone with high damage AoE attacks before they become problems. Bring your best magic characters if you have a good magic team. Elf's Honor Lufia will be better than Elven Awakening if you're doing a manual fight, so you can make good use of Kindling and increase your magic by 75%. For auto battle, Elven Awakening Lufia will be better since the AI won't use the magic buff on Elf's Honor Lufia. Of course, this assumes that both your Lufias have the same limit break. Holy White Royal Reveria is good for buffing magic units and providing light resistance debuffs for Elven Awakening Lufia and other light magic casters. Splash Princess Eyes is a light caster and provides an endurance buff and guard rate buff, great for all sources of damage. She also has a strong AoE light magic attack. Other notable casters include Cute Elf Filvis for AoE, and Lovely Travel Lily for focusing single targets. For physical characters, simply use your best ones. Sparkle Princess Eyes, Honor Succession Bell, and Supreme Reign Atura are highlights since they all are strong in the AoE department. Remember, the Bell special is magic, so use it for super effectiveness before Lily buffs magic resistance on turn 5. And do note, the Braid Swordsman Finn will be great for focusing single targets. Now let's go over some characters that provide great defensive buffs and debuffs. Gale Disguised Ryu leads the pack, as she should because she's best girl. But she's a magic caster that provides a 30% strength and magic debuff on all your opponents. As this covers both physical and magic attacks, this is great for reducing your overall damage taken. And by large coincidence, Gale Disguised Ryu is the pickup gacha character this week. They most definitely did this on purpose. On the physical side of things, you can use Kino, who does the same strength and magic debuff, but only by 20%, but still a good amount. Subuki only debuffs strength, and Onsen Osfi only debuffs magic. If Aiza's light magic specials are a big problem, then consider using Naza, who has a 30% magic down skill and a magic resistance buff. Also notable for countering the physical Amazon twins is Casino Lady Shakti for her strength down skill and guard rate and physical resistance buffs. There's a good amount of single target attacks used in this fight, so if you're afraid of your weaker characters getting abused or being targeted, put Will of Iron Oka on your list, as he'll be able to increase your endurance by 20% and is also able to use his cover skill to redirect any single target attacks towards himself. Healer-wise, consider Fells, who has a physical resistance buff, or even the new Swimsuit Lily, who has a magic resistance buff. Almighty Fighter Osfi remains the best defensive healer, since her skill covers both physical and magic damage. You can also consider Photo if you're trying to stack guard rate. Just remember, if you're using multiple adventurers with guard rate buffs, they won't stack. You'll need to stack the guard rate with an assist and armor. Now let's go over the assist characters. The most important one is absolutely Ganesha for taunt resistance. If you have the 4-star Ganesha, he'll provide taunt resistance and endurance debuff to the enemy. If you don't have the 4-star one, 3-star Mascot Ganesha gives the same amount of taunt resistance. At +5, they both provide 100% resistance. Since the overall majority of the damage you'll be taking is physical, you will find Artless Hephaestus and Filmic Goddess Hestia very useful with their physical resistance buffs. In Filmic Goddess Hestia's case, her guard rate buff will be great when paired up with any adventurer that provides guard rate and breastplate armor. You'll be guarding a majority of the attacks, which will deal half damage to you as a result. Also for physical, either Paradise Mood Hestia or Seaside Goddess Hestia will provide a strength debuff on your opponents. 3-star Mighty Elephant Ganesha exists as an option if you don't have either of the two. If you find you are struggling against Aiza's special on turn 6 and 7, then the options for dealing with magic are the following. Onsen Mikoto and Summer Mischief Seer will provide a magic debuff on your opponents. Banquet Dress Loki will provide a magic resistance buff to your party. Pure White Dress Seer is a highlight since your endurance buff will cover both physical and magic attacks. And of course, for physical teams, having T or part-time Hestia along with Detective Anya or Legendary Artisan Hephaestus will be a big boon. If you're using a magic team, you can use Banquet Dress Freya and Banquet Attire Hermes or Trickster Loki to deal more damage. Just remember, you cannot lower magic resistance past -100%. As always, HP regen assist like Naza, Miak, Amid, and Bunny Goddess Hestia will be useful if you find you are taking a lot of damage and aren't able to heal all of it with your healer. One other assist I'd like to mention is Countess Seer. Since with the magic team, you're racing to do the majority of your damage before turn 5 when Lily uses her magic resistance buff, having Seer allows you to use her special by turn 4. So, build your team leading towards magic or physical, whichever units in your possession are stronger and cleared at very hard quests for 3 Hero Falna. Remember, you'll also get Iris for clearing through the trial quests and also for S-clearing them in the time limited missions tab. When it comes to grinding the flowers themselves, you can just pick whatever difficulty you're able to farm on auto battle for the easiest time. Of course, the quickest way will be to run through very hard for your flowers, but if that requires you to manually select skills, you may want to do hard or normal on auto battle instead. You'll gain roughly the same amount of flowers per stamina spent across all difficulties. Unfortunately for this hero trial, we're getting the flowers at the same pace as tokens from previous trials, but with the tokens we only needed to collect 400, so this will take 3 times as long. They really want us to spend stamina on that star bond. We can't say no to a generic bond though. It's way too precious an opportunity to skip. Remember that this heroic trial ends on August 7th, so you do have some time. Hopefully, we see a heroic trial for an adventurer star bond with the upcoming new summer event next week. Here's hoping. They paired adventurer and assist star bond trials for Kino's journey after all. So, go ahead and beat these beach beauties and get that star bond and apologize afterwards. You just wanted flowers after all. If you found this video helpful or informative, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel for more content. To stay updated on what I'm doing, follow me on Twitter and join my Discord for any questions and discussion. Continue enjoying your time adventuring in Aurario and the dungeon. This is Lauren Gaming, and I'm signing out.